Hey friends, this is Angela from Art of Creation Homestead, and as you can see, we're in the kitchen again with another episode of what to do with all these eggs. So today I am surprising Jason with something that he dearly loves. This is something that he just completely enjoys. And I love making them for him in the spring because these scream spring. They just do. Because honestly, it's like eating sunshine. Just to be completely honest, it's like eating sunshine. That's what I compare it to, at least. Maybe I'm a little strange, but that's what I compare it to. What we are making today are lemon bars. Doesn't that sound wonderful? So now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna get started on the crust. The first thing you need to do, you need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or the Celsius equivalent thereof. And what we have in this bowl, we have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. We have a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. And we have 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. We use pink Himalayan, but you can use whatever you have. And we're gonna mix those together just till everything's nice and incorporated and the powdered sugar is mixed into the flour. Now, that's done that quickly because you don't even need a mixer for this. This is so easy, you don't even need a mixer for this. Just a bowl and a spoon, that's it. And in this cup, this loveliness right here, is a cup of melted butter, which is 2 sticks, not 3. Thumb, get in there. It's 2 sticks. And to that 2 sticks of butter, I know this is gonna sound a little crazy, but stick with me here. I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I know you're probably thinking, okay, this is lemon. You don't really need that vanilla. I know, you don't really need it. If you don't want to add it, don't add it. But that little bit of vanilla adds almost like a creaminess to that lemon flavor, which it just pairs so well together. So now we're going to pour this melted butter and the vanilla into this mixture. Now this melted butter, I melted it and then I let it sit for just a few minutes so that it could cool down a little so that it doesn't melt your powdered sugar and doesn't make for a greasy crust. Because what you're making here, you're making a shortbread crust. And you want it to be good and crumbly. This mixture right here is gonna be, it's gonna seem a little crumbly. When you put it in the pan, it's gonna seem just a little crumbly. But actually that's what you want. Because it's shortbread. Shortbread is like this. It tends to be a little crumbly and you have to pat it together. So, that quick, your crust is ready to pat into your pan. We have a 13 by 9 glass baking dish here. You can use metal. I wouldn't really recommend it. The lemon juice in the filling can react with metals and give your filling a little bit of a metallic taste, which is not pleasant. So I'm using glass, but if you do use metal, make sure you line it with parchment paper. Line it with parchment paper anyways because it's going to be impossible to get out of the pan. So line it with parchment paper anyways. But metal especially, please line with parchment paper. Do not line with aluminum foil. That's not a good thing. There's reactant there too. Do not line with aluminum foil. Line with parchment paper. So now we're going to spray this just a little bit. You don't need to spray it too much because you have so much butter in your crust already. So now we are going to just dump our crust into the pan. And we are going to just pat it out into the pan. As you can see, it's pretty crumbly, but yet very buttery. This is a very buttery shortbread crust. Now, we're gonna pat it into the pan, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get it all patted in. And now, we're gonna put it in your 350-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until you start seeing a little bit of golden brown just around the edges. You don't want it to get brown. You just want a nice little golden tinge around the edges. Now, I will tell you, make sure your crust is patted out as evenly as possible. You don't want thick and thin spots because you want it to bake evenly. So you don't want the thick and thin spots. And also you don't want weak spots in the crust of your lemon bar, because that will make weak spots. If you have a thin spot, that will make a weak spot. So now we're gonna pop this in the oven, and then I'll show you what we do next. Now, the minute your crust goes into the oven, because you wanna pour this on a warm crust. So the minute your crust goes into the oven, you wanna start on your lemon filling. Now, this recipe has double that luscious lemon filling. Now, if you don't like it doubled, you can half this recipe, but trust me, you will want this. It is amazing. So in this bowl, we have 3 cups of sugar. I know that's a lot, but when you see the amount of lemon juice that we're putting in, you're gonna know we need that. Otherwise, it's gonna be way too tart. So we have 3 cups of granulated sugar, which is, I'm using pure cane sugar. We have 2/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour. And we're gonna whisk those together. Get them nice and incorporated. Get any lumps that may be in your flour. Your sugar, as I've told you in many videos, your sugar will work as an abrasive to break up any lumps. There we go. It's that easy. Now, in this bowl, we have 7 large eggs. Yes, I said 7. This is gonna take some eggs. I'm giving them just a little breakup, just breaking up the yolks just a little bit. And now we're going to add that to our sugar and flour mixture. And just start working it in just a little bit. You don't have to work it in much, just a little bit. Just start getting it incorporated just a little bit into your sugar and flour. Now, we are going to add 1 cup of lemon juice. Now, with this, you can have fresh squeezed, you can have bottled. It doesn't matter. Now, there will be a little bit of a difference in the flavor. Now, this right here that I have, it is bottled, but it is not from concentrate bottled. It is fresh bottled, not from concentrate. Now, you can use the from concentrate. He'll taste a little different, but it'll be fine. You want to work this. By the way, this was the same bowl that I mixed the crust in. I just wiped out any remnants from the crust. There's no sense in washing it or anything, because it really doesn't matter. That's how easy this is. And see, you want to whip that up really good. Now, I know your crust isn't done yet, but you really want to let this sit for just a few minutes. That few minutes sit will allow the sugar to dissolve into the lemon juice. And it will keep you from having like a crystallized top on top of your, like a crystallized layer between the lemon filling and the crust. Sometimes it can form like a crystallized layer if your sugar isn't dissolved well. So that little bit of time for it to sit aside will allow that to happen. So now we're just gonna wait on our crust to get done. As you can see, our crust is now out of the oven. It's nice and golden brown around the edges. You probably can't see that on camera, but it's nice and golden brown around the edges and nice and set up. We are going to take our beautiful filling, give it a good whisk. Make sure it's all incorporated again. And we're gonna pour it over our hot crust. And you will hear it sizzle. Don't be alarmed, you will hear it sizzle. And just make sure you get all that lusciousness out of your bowl. Now we're gonna take this to the oven. This still preheated to 350 degrees, just like you bake the crust. And this will bake probably for another 20 to 25 minutes or so. Basically just until the center doesn't jiggle anymore and seems set up. Okay, as you can see, these beauties are out of the oven now. They baked for between 25 and 30 minutes until they still had just a tiny bit of jiggle when you shake them. See, when you shake them, they have just a little bit of jiggle. You probably can't see that on camera. But now we're going to let them sit here and cool at room temperature for about 2 hours. And then after that, you are going to put them in the refrigerator and let them chill for about 2 more hours. We'll be back and let Jason see his surprise and get to taste them. Okay, our lemon bars are fully set up now. And because of the parchment paper, you can just lift them straight out of the pan and just peel the parchment paper back and they're ready to cut. Well, not yet.
Not yet.
What is a lemon bar without powdered sugar?
Slow your roll.
Tootsie.
Alright, put the powdered sugar on, let's eat. I'm tired of staring at them.
He don't like my jokes.
I'm tired of procrastinating on the eating.
Now, just sift some on there. That way you get a good even dusting.
Makes it look all fancy.
Looks like it snowed on them.
Hey. Very nice. Alright, hang on. Quick tip. When you're eating a lemon bar, don't exhale when you put it close to your mouth. You blow powdered sugar everywhere.
Don't inhale either.
Or inhale. Either one. Don't ask me how I know this. Alright, so now I get to taste one of these lovely things here. I'm excited. I love lemon bars. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. That crust is wonderful. And you need it for this nice gooey film that we got going. It's set up, it's so flavorful, there's a lot of it. And what? It can hold it up, but it's still full of goodness right there. It's outstanding. You gotta try this lemon bar. And preferably hold your breath when you eat, because you know, you never know what's gonna happen. But hey, we appreciate you guys watching. This is outstanding. Subscribe to the channel. You know, click the bell for notifications. Give us a thumbs up on the video. It's just, it helps us, and it's going to help you to figure out when we're actually putting more videos out. Okay. So we appreciate you guys watching. My name is Jason. This was Angela's fantastic recipe. This is our Creation Homestead. We love you guys. God bless you and goodbye.
I thought I should do a little side note for you. As you can see, this lemon filling right here is a little bit gooey. See? It's a little bit gooey. We like ours that way. We like that. That's almost like fresh lemon curd on top of a really good crust. Because see, it's a really good crust. See if you can hear that. It's a really good shortbread crust that just stands up to it really well. If you like yours firmer than that and more gelatinous, then go ahead and bake it for an extra 5 to 10 minutes until it's a little more set. But if you like it soft like this, like fresh lemon curd, then go ahead and bake it the amount of time that I said. You'll love it. If you love it soft like this, you will absolutely love it. But just bake it a few extra minutes if you like it more gelatinous. Oh, and I also forgot to tell you this little important thing that I found out recently. I have always seen lemon bars stored at room temperature. Well, I recently found out that that's not a good thing. That you actually want to store them in the refrigerator, because the top layer is actually a custard base. because it has very little flour and a lot of eggs. So it's actually considered a custard base. So you want to store that in the refrigerator because it can build up mold that you probably can't see below the powdered sugar. So for your own safety, keep them in the refrigerator. And we've also found out through doing that they are actually delicious chilled. Oh my gosh, they're delicious chilled.